After my last video, I did say it would be the first and last time I would speak about the vile human being that is Darren Gee.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're all having a lovely week. Just want to remind people, if you're watching this and you enjoy this kind of content, then please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Just means you'll get notified of new videos as and when I drop them. Huge thanks to all of you who have subscribed in the last few days. It's quite a lot for my little channel and it's much appreciated. Without sounding paranoid, there is a whole community on YouTube that hate seeing this channel grow. In the last few days, they've actually caused the channel's Social Blade page to start trending. This is due to the amount that these people are keeping an eye on my subscriber count, and I do find that very entertaining. But that's just a little bit of my drama. Let's swiftly move on to someone else's drama instead. That's always the best way. I'm just going to keep things short and to the point. Once again, we're going to take a quick look at what's going on today, specifically between Darren Gee and James English. Marvin Herbert appears to have taken a step back, and who can blame him? I'd be ducking as well if I was in his shoes. But it was Marvin's video that started all this off. I don't want to be unfair to Marvin at all, because we're all free to make whatever content we want for whatever reason we want. But Marvin did kind of make a video out of nowhere in which he said that Darren Gee's message was on the wrong frequency.
I have no opinion on him. What I do know is that the message he's sending out there, and I'll put it out there because I've said it to Darren himself, his message is correct, but it's on the wrong frequency. So the frequency that he's emitting his information on is a little bit conflictuous with certain environments.
Which is quite a strange thing to say, quite a direct call out. And I can imagine that Darren probably did wonder why Marvin felt the need to make a video about him in the first place and to include statements like that. Surely Marvin expected a reaction. Certainly, looking back at it, it was always going to cause a commotion. And it just makes me wonder what's actually going on behind the scenes, if anything. Not to get into conspiracies or anything like that, but why did Marvin make a video calling out Darren Gee, even if it was done quite tamely? It almost looked to me as well as if Marvin Herbert didn't really want to be making that video, but who knows? That's total guesswork on my part, obviously, but I do eagerly await word from Marvin about this. I want to hear what his next comments on this are, if he comments again. Now, I appreciate that that might not have made a lot of sense to some people listening. If you've got no idea what I'm talking about, basically a war of words has broken out between three quite prominent and current podcasters, or people in the podcast scene at least. They're all focused generally on the genre of true crime and reformed criminals, etc., although they do other things as well. You've got Marvin Herbert, Darren Gee and James English. I'll put a link to my last video on this topic in the description below, so you can check that out if you've not seen it already, and that'll help you catch up on the background a little bit. But there's been a little bit more that's happened just in the last few hours, really, and I was going to say that it's now descended into mudslinging, but it was already mudslinging, let's be honest. A lot of people have commented that this is better than EastEnders, and that is how I see it as well. But we need to remember that we are talking about people's lives here, people's actual situations here. It is quite entertaining that it's all taking place on camera, but this may be causing a bit of stress for some people involved. Basically what happened after Marvin Herbert's initial video is that everyone started responding to each other, and it ended up with Darren Gee responding back to James English, making accusations against James English of domestic abuse, amongst some other quite wild allegations. Now, James English said that he wasn't going to address it again, but he has just put out another video on his channel, a very short one. I'm sure he wishes he didn't have to do that, but he has obviously felt the need to address things, and the reason for that is that Darren Gee has made a tweet, and this tweet's been doing the rounds for a few hours really. I've edited it for privacy reasons for the person who's photographed. Obviously not everyone wants to be in a video, and I really don't think this woman does. But it shows a woman who has facial injuries consistent with domestic violence, and it falsely names this woman as an ex-partner of James English, suggesting that James English did this to the woman. In fact, it clearly states that James English did this to the woman. This person is not James English's partner though, or ex-partner, and her injuries are not the result of James English. In fact, the article involving this girl and what happened to her, which was domestic violence, can be found online, and the perpetrator of the abuse is named and photographed in that article. Now this lady, or someone claiming to be her at least, has come forward. She was presumably alerted by somebody who knows her and who also follows Darren Gee on Twitter, because he does have over 20,000 followers. She's been told that he's using her image, and she's asked people to report Darren Gee's account for pushing false information related to her photos. James English, as I say, has done a video on this now, stating that the information in that tweet is false, that Darren Gee is a vile man, and that the woman in the photos has come forward. Now Darren Gee has retracted his tweet, and he confirms that he was fooled by somebody. In his words, he was had and fell for a rat trick. However, he is not being apologetic in the slightest, and is still maintaining that he has been betrayed by James English. Now from what I can tell, this false information was sent to Darren by one of his followers on Instagram, whose Instagram account now appears to be gone. Darren put a clip of him scrolling through the message in his Instagram inbox. I saw a clip of this initially on the YouTube channel The Fuse UK, so shout out to them. They are quite often the first to upload this kind of content onto YouTube, and it does prove very handy. So I'll put a link to The Fuse UK in the description. You can go and check them out. They do have a lot of content and often upload live streams and things like that that Darren's put out on his Instagram. So that clip showed that somebody had got in touch with Darren Gee, claiming to be the brother of this woman, and saying things about James English and passing these photos on. Obviously the person who sent them can be completely discounted as a hoaxer. We know the images are not who the person claims they are of, and we know they're nothing to do with James English, and both Darren Gee and James English have confirmed this. Darren should have verified the information that was coming through to him, but what interests me is who actually sent that fake information to Darren in the first place and why. That's what I'd like to know, and we'll probably never get to know. As I say, this account that appears to have sent the information to Darren Gee, it looks as if it's now gone off Instagram. So things are getting a bit messy. The woman in the photos is not happy at all from what I can see, and she appears to say that she's already contacted the police regarding the fact that Darren Gee posted this. So I don't know where that's going to end up, but if the police are now involved, this just sounds like needless headaches for everyone involved, especially the woman. This is a real person who's got dragged into an unrelated beef here, so let's just hope that it hasn't caused her too much anxiety. It's amazing how you can just wake up one day, be going about your business, and suddenly find yourself dragged into a YouTube beef. Wherever this goes next, who the hell knows? I'll keep you updated anyway if there's anything else interesting that happens regarding this. Now I'm just going to jump in here with another cut. Basically, Marvin has put out a video today in which he responds to Darren Gee. He does mention a bit about Sean Atwood as well. That's maybe something for another video. Marvin did say about Sean Atwood that he's got evidence that Mr. Atwood was never in a maximum security prison. So I thought that was very interesting, and that's something that needs to be looked into a bit more. If Marvin is listening to this, then I would ask him to release that evidence, because that is something that I think the public would like to see. But keeping things in line with the theme of this video, Marvin did respond to Darren Gee, challenging Darren to explain what it is that he does to help people and who he has actually helped. Marvin went on to let the audience know about multiple good causes that he works for, and the video was mostly Marvin proving that he is reformed and that he's no longer involved in crime. I'll put a link to his video and to all the other videos that I've talked about today down in the description. Marvin also says that we should take a look at the people who are trying to chop him down, a reference to Darren Gee obviously.
People will try and chop me down and shoot me down and slander me and sling mud, but the ones that are slinging mud, you've got to look closely at them. Look closely at them, see where they've been, see what people are saying about them.
So I'd imagine that this podcast war, as we're calling it, is going to continue on for a little bit. That was pretty much the gist of Marvin's video though. He didn't go in guns blazing or anything like that. James English has also since released this statement, saying that as soon as you start doing well for yourself, people start digging into your past as if you're hiding from it. This is a pattern I've seen time and again with other people who get successful. He says that he's never hidden from his past and that he never will hide from his past. He refers to battling with addiction as well as being in prison and losing people to murder, and he ends by saying that he plans to tell his own story and set the record straight on a few things, which I think sounds like a good way to handle this situation. I know a lot of people would be tuning in to watch that. It could turn a negative into a positive, so we'll see how things go with that. Now Darren Gee has actually responded as well, so I'll put that in here too. He's still extremely annoyed. He is stating effectively that Marvin and James have tried to set him up, that they are in discussions with other people talking about how to bring Darren Gee down effectively or how to set him up. Darren refers to the Irish connection. I'm not sure what this is, to be honest. I think it refers to potentially organised criminals from what I can gather, but I will just put in some of Darren's comments here as well.
What you've got is Marvin being funded by this same Irish chap who's supporting his podcast and everything about it. He's also supporting James English, who went and had a meeting with him 2 weeks ago in Dubai. And that meeting was about sabotaging me and putting me on my fucking knees because they didn't like the way it was flowing. Why? Because of some little shithead years ago. That's the Irish angle, because of some little rat years ago. This Marvin, this James English, have been trying to whip me up and wreck my credibility for the past 3 months. They've been trying to get me on some sort of podcast with this Marvin, so this Marvin can have his angle, and the angle's coming from the Irish. It's bottom line.
Who really knows, to be honest, at this stage. It has been interesting to watch though, so far anyway. If you do like this kind of content, as I say, please do like the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, it's much appreciated. It's winding people up. Many thanks to all of you who are already subscribed and following along. I hope you all have a lovely evening, folks, but I'll just leave this one here just now. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks again. See you next time.